You wake up early, you don't always have time to eat, so I'm bringing something to eat. Coffee cake, I have found to be a pretty good fuel for diving because it's rich in calories, but it's not too sweet, it's not too heavy, it's not too cloying. So I always, that's what I'm doing. So I always start by just prepping everything. So I'm making little individual coffee cakes in these little pans. I use this to make banana bread as well sometimes. All right, here we go. Here we go, just buttering this. So I first discovered this particular recipe watching YouTube videos. Surprise, surprise. I got it from Binging with Babish, or Basics with Babish. It's an awesome little online video. He does some amazing things. I've learned lots of different techniques just by watching. So I buttered all these pans, and now I'm just lining it with parchment. It'll slowly cool off. So now I've lined every single one of them. Now I'm just going to butter what I've lined. And what this does, it ensures that when we pull, that you can easily remove each coffee cake. So this is the recipe I have. I do follow it pretty closely. So, okay, 240 grams. Then we need 140 grams of dark brown sugar. Well, I don't have dark brown sugar, I have light brown sugar. A teaspoon of cinnamon. Now when it comes to measurements as small as a teaspoon, you don't bother with the weight. You just measure that out. 70 grams of turbino sugar, or this kind of sugar. I can never pronounce it properly. It's kind of a raw sugar, a really big granule. I don't know if you can see that or not. I need half a teaspoon of baking powder. Actually, a quarter teaspoon. So we're going to mix all of these together. And then we're going to add in melted butter, 170 grams of melted butter. Just yummy. And we add the butter. So we're just going to keep on mixing it. And this is the crumbly texture that we want. And this is what's going to get spread in the middle of the coffee cake as well as on top. So that's perfect. We're going to set that aside. So for the flour, for the cake, we need 240 grams of all-purpose flour. And now 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So baking powder makes things rise. And so we need a half a teaspoon of this. Another way to break it up is we're going to sift everything together. So, and then the final thing is we need some salt, a teaspoon of kosher salt. So this is where I keep my salt, a teaspoon of that. So for the wet ingredients, we need sugar, butter, eggs, and sour cream or yogurt. So I have all of that. So what we do is we're going to cream the butter and the sugar together. Then we're going to add the eggs one at a time, mixing each time. Then add the sour cream. And now we need 170 grams of granulated sugar. So creaming literally means you want to incorporate. So after just a little bit, this is actually lightened in color quite a bit. It was quite yellow. Now it's a nice pale yellow color than cold eggs do. So just be careful, try not to get any. So these are the 2 vanillas that I have. Mexican vanilla and Tahitian vanilla. So Mexican vanilla, actually vanilla kind of came from Mexico originally. It's grown a lot of different places. It's grown in Madagascar and Tahiti, in Mexico. It's really gained much more popularity in places like Tahiti and in Madagascar. You should always, always, always get good vanilla. Don't skimp on this imitation crap. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So real vanilla, like splurge a little bit for it. because you don't have to use that much, but if you splurge a little bit for it, the flavors you're going to get are going to just be amazing. It's more than just that everyday vanilla that you think of. We're probably going to use about a teaspoon of it. I put my teaspoon in the dishwasher already, so we're just going to eyeball it. We'd use a little bit more, not a big deal. So, again, get good ingredients. They will, like, this is a very good vanilla. So, all right, so we've incorporated that. Now we're going to put in our yogurt. You can also do sour cream. So this is what gives coffee cake that little bit of sourness. About ready to put our dry ingredients in. Now, oftentimes you always want to put your dry into your wet. You don't put the wet into the dry. Because if you put the wet into the dry, the wet will cover the dry ingredients, and then you'll have pockets of dry ingredients in there that never really get incorporated. So we are going to, let's see, yep, pour the dry on top of the wet. So we have this nice, it's a thick cake batter. You see how thick this is? It almost reminds me of like a, I don't know, stiff whipped cream. How it kind of stands up, but much heavier. All right, so that is together. I think I might. I'll put this into a bag. So if you don't have a piping bag, it's not a big deal. Just use a plastic bag. And the reason I'm doing this, normally I would not. But the reason I'm doing this is because I need to put these into small little, so we have that. It looks rather messy. Squeeze the air out of it. And then we snip the end off to create that opening. Work. So you won't see me for a minute, but that's okay. You've been seeing me enough, I think. So you do want to try to squeeze as much further down, because again, you don't want to waste, or you want to minimize how much you do waste, because, you know, we are using a plastic bag one time, and I do feel bad about that. I normally don't like to use single-use plastics. So, okay, this is going to be fun. So we're just going to pipe some in. And remember, you do have to put a top on these. So you don't want to use it all. I've made that mistake before. And then all of a sudden I don't have enough on the top. Smooth things out perfectly. We're kind of just smoothing things out. Nice. That's exactly what I want. So now we get to fill them with our streusel filling. Now remember how nice and crumbly that is? Isn't that great? So we're just going to put some in the middle. There we go. So again, let's just take our time. There. Ah. Sorry about that. Uh-oh. I could pat this down. I don't feel like it. So we're going to dress the top of it. And we are going to get generous with this here. So generous, in fact. Let's break this all up. We're just going to do it like that. All right, we're done. Now, we get to put these, I'm just going to talk like this. We're going to put these into an oven, 350 degrees, till they're done. Hopefully, they will taste super, super yummy. Well, I know they will because I've made them before. They smell amazing. Just now, even raw, they smell fantastic. So you will see them maybe in about 20 minutes. Maybe I'll just try to upload something. Not sure if I'll be able to get on the video because talking for an extra 20 minutes about nothing, not really my forte. So give me just a second. Pop these in the oven.